man, rooibos straight to the freaking butt. That's delicious. Oh, hello there, cyberdogs. Oh, what's going on? Didn't see you there. Snuck up on me, you freaking sneaky ass ninjas. Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival with me, RENDOG'S. In the previous episode, we were working on an item elevator at our wood grove over there, and in this episode, my friends, we are going to find a way to send the items from our wood grove all the way into the Viking district of Mole City for processing, and it's going to be absolutely freaking awesome. I've come here to the Griswold family apartments to get a little bit of a view of what we've been working on for the last few episodes, and as you can see, it's pretty glorious, man. This is a really awesome apartment. It's got such a wonderful view over the backside of the Mole City area, and we can see the grove in the distance over there. We can see the Cyberdog monument on top of the hill. The Victoria greenhouse is slowly popping up. So awesome from up here, my friends. Damn. Now, I am super excited for today's episode. Perhaps you guys can hear it in my voice, and that is because today we're getting technical, my friends. We are building a redstone contraption that is going to blow your freaking minds. And I've done the research, I've put in the time, and my friends, I think I know exactly what I'm doing. I know that I've said that before. I know that it's probably famous last words, but I'm going to set myself a challenge for today's episode. I'm going to build today's redstone contraption in one take, on camera, no cuts, and no mistakes. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to pull it off or not, but I have been practicing the build, so let's see if I can actually do it, guys. Sit back and relax. I hope you got something tasty to sip on. I got some delicious ass tea. Give me a second. And yeah, I hope you got something crunchy to snack on, man, because it's going to be a pretty damn awesome episode. And here we are in the Viking district of Mole City. Some of you guys are new subscribers. You guys haven't seen this place before. This is one of the more neglected areas of Mole City. We haven't really figured out what we want to do with the place yet, but I reckon some sort of a lumber mill processing facility will be perfect for this location over here. And what we're going to be trying to do is get all of the logs, leaves, saplings, and apples that we are getting from our grove to be delivered into this area, into the lumber mill here for processing. And essentially, we will have a place where we will be able to come and get any wood at any time that we want. And that is the current goal for this particular project. Now, while we are in Mole City, guys, there is something that I need to do. Some of you guys have been mentioning, some of you older cyberdogs out there have pointed out something that is 100% true and something that we need to get to before we forget. At the end of our last adventure, we came home with a butt-ton of gold. And of course, we need to get this gold into Granny Dog's monument. For those of you guys who are new subscribers, and I know there's a ton of you out there over the last couple of weeks, you've come and joined us for this Minecraft survival series. This staircase monument that you see in the heart of our city is a monument that I have built in honor of my grandmother who passed away a few years ago during season 2, I think it was. And every time I come back from an adventure with a little bit of gold, a little bit of extra bling bling, I put those gold blocks into this monument. The idea being that eventually we will be able to build this entire monument out of gold, and it's going to look absolutely freaking beautiful. So you know what, guys, to start off today's episode, let's add a few more blocks of gold into Granny Dog's monument. You know, I had a very strange dream last night, actually, that I wanted to share with you today. I dreamt that I was with my grandmother underneath a peach tree that used to grow in her garden, and we were sitting there together, and my grandmother was showing me which peaches were ready to eat and which peaches were not ripe yet. And it was kind of a strange and powerful dream, because I must have been about 9 years old in the dream, and it was so vivid. I really felt like it was so real, like I was there with my grandmother, and my grandfather was watching from the porch and smiling happily at us sitting underneath the peach tree. And you know what, my friends, even though they are no longer on this earth, it kind of consoled my heart a little bit knowing that they still live deep inside of my subconscious, and every now and then I can be with them again in what feels like complete reality, and it's absolutely beautiful. Cyberdogs, I do hope that your brains are prepared. mine is as prepared as it's going to get, I think, for today's episode, because we are getting technical, and it's going to be pretty crazy if we can pull this off in one take without any cuts. That's the challenge for today, my friends. And what we are attempting to do is something that, you know, we've never really tried in this series. We've never really tried to get this technical before, and I'm super excited about actually pulling this sucker off. I'm going to try as hard as I can to do this. In the previous episode, of course, we installed this item elevator, which is basically pushing items directly up the center of this giant freaking thing from the aqueducts of the wood grove. So check it out. Let's throw this little piece of dirt in, and we should see that piece of dirt travel all the way to the top of the item elevator. Isn't that freaking sweet? Now, we've got a couple of serious challenges to attend to in today's technical build, my friends, and let me try and break them down for you as best that I can, okay? The first challenge that we're going to have to figure out is how to get these items that are traveling to the top of our item elevator into a giant redstone contraption that we're going to build over there. The second goal is, of course, going to be to make a redstone contraption that is going to fill a chest cart full of all of the juicy ass loot coming from our grove. So that's logs, leaves, saplings, and apples, and send that chest cart all the way to the Viking district to be processed when the chest cart is completely full. And of course, the third and final challenge is to empty that chest cart in the Viking district and send the chest cart back into this processing facility so that it can be filled up again with the items coming from the grove. So a couple of pretty difficult, pretty serious technical challenges that we're facing today, guys. And of course, on top of those challenges, we have to make sure that whatever we do, we try and make it as beautiful as we can, and we don't just build some janky ass redstone contraption that's going to look like an absolute eyesore on the skyline of Rentopia. So let's get down to freaking business, my friends. Step number one, how in the jazz are we going to get the items coming up the item elevator to be delivered into our redstone processing contraption? Well, I think that this is probably the easiest of our tasks today. So let me try and explain to you exactly what I'm thinking about doing. Why don't we use a water source to push the items that land over here at the top of our item elevator into our redstone contraption? That sounds simple enough to me, my friends, and I think what we'll do is use a little bit of ice for this so that those items will travel nice and fast. Let's get a little bit of iceage going like this. I suppose 4 blocks is probably long enough. Let's just make sure that we get far enough from our item elevator so that we don't have any issues when we're building our redstone contraption. But this is basically going to be like a delivery aqueduct, I suppose we could call it, that is going to be sending the items from the item elevator into the redstone processing facility. And what we're going to have to do is stick a little bit of a water source in this position over here. Now the theory is, as those items travel up the center of the item elevator, they will hit this water stream and then be sent into the redstone contraption. So why don't we do a little bit of a test right now. Let's see if we can chuck one of these items into the stream. Let's see if that comes up the item elevator. There it goes. Beautiful. So it came out, popped into this aqueduct, and it was sent to the end of the aqueduct here. So that is working exactly the way that I want it to work. Now, the next part of this first challenge is, of course, to deliver the items into the redstone contraption. So I think we could probably use a hopper for this task. Let's get down to the position like this. And I think what we could probably do is set up a sort of halfway house chest, I guess we can call it. So a chest that is going to be collecting the items from the aqueduct, and now we can stick a hopper on the chest, hold shift and put that hopper into the chest like that. And then let's finish off the aqueduct like this so no items will shoot over the hopper. And let's have a look. If we have an item coming into this aqueduct, it's going to hit the ice and go straight into the hopper. That's working absolutely perfectly. Let's just drop down here and have a look. Is it in the chest? Yeah, baby, it is in the chest. Okay, awesome. So challenge 1 completed. That was easier than I thought it was going to be, I must admit. Now, the next challenge is going to be to build the actual redstone contraption that is going to be filling up this minecart or this chest cart full of the loot from the wood grove. Now, there are a couple of pretty technical things that I need to try and explain to you guys here. Please do excuse me if I don't explain them 100% correctly. My knowledge about exactly how redstone works isn't the greatest. However, I do understand the theory about how this contraption works. It is more commonly known as a smart chest loader, is what it's known as. And I found a number of different builds on YouTube showing us exactly how to build a smart chest loader. And I think that I have discovered a smart chest loader build that is going to do exactly what we need it to do. But the first thing that we need to do, of course, is make sure that we sleep so that we don't get interrupted by any freaking mobs right now. So let me wait for this freaking sun to go down. I'm going to sleep the night away, and we will build the second part of our redstone contraption. All right. Let's do this thing, guys. Just slept the night away, and we are moving on to part 2. And this is the serious part, okay, guys? This is the part that I want to do in one take. Let's see if we can actually pull this jazz off. I'm gonna engage my brain something fierce. Give me 1 second. I just need a little bit of brain fuel. All right, that tea is ready. My brain is prepared. Let's see if we can actually do this thing. Okay, we are going to be making a smart chest cart loader. Is what we're going to try and do now. And like I said, I don't understand the actual mechanics about how this thing works, but I will explain to you guys the theory about how it works. Now, the way to start off this build is to have 2 hoppers like this, and you can have a chest above the first hopper, or another hopper, or whatever you want. But I think that having this chest over here will be a good thing, because if we fill this chest full of items, then the aqueduct won't get backed up with items. We have a sort of, I suppose it's like a backup storage area over there in that chest. Now, what we want to be doing is using these hoppers to fill up a chest cart with all of the loot coming from the grove. So what we're going to try and do first here is set up the chest cart itself. And what we're going to be doing is sticking a little bit of a powered rail over here underneath the hopper. And then let's just get a normal rail in front of that one, like so. And now we can make for ourselves our chest cart. Yeah, it's called a minecart with chest, but I'm just going to call it a chest cart, okay? Minecart with chest is just too many words. Okay, there we go. So this is the foundations of our redstone contraption, and the theory is very, very simple, right? The items coming from the item elevator are going to go into this series of hoppers and chests, and are going to be delivered into this chest cart. Now, the smart part of this build comes in as follows. We need this redstone contraption to know when this chest cart is full of items. When this chest cart is full of items, we then need the contraption to send a signal into the powered rail to deliver the chest cart all the way into the Viking district. Okay, so that is the basic theory about how this redstone contraption is going to work. Now, let me try and set this sucker up, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set it up. Now, again, I don't really understand the mechanics behind how it works precisely, but I will explain to you the theory behind it all. What we're going to have to do to start off this build is stick a chest over here and a redstone comparator over here. And you need a bit of nether quartz to make a redstone comparator, just by the way. It's a very, very simple recipe, actually. But that's going to be the first part of today's build, is having a chest over here and having a redstone comparator behind it. And essentially what we're doing is comparing the chest to the hopper, because the back side of the comparator is touching the chest, and the side of the comparator is touching this hopper over here. Now, the theory about how this contraption works is as follows. When this hopper, the one directly above the chest cart, is not doing anything, so for example, is not receiving items or not sending items into the chest cart, a redstone signal is going to be sent into this powered rail, thus sending this chest cart off on the railway line toward the Viking district. So we are going to be using a redstone circuit to monitor what is going on inside of this hopper over here. And when this hopper ain't doing nothing, then this chest cart is going to go on its way. And that solution solves 2 of the problems, right? Number 1, the chest cart is going to sit here and wait until it's filled, completely filled, before it gets shot off. And number 2, the redstone circuit is not going to break when there is nothing here. Because of course, when there is nothing here, this hopper won't be doing anything. So the circuit is going to be off. But as soon as the chest cart returns from the lumber mill in the Viking district, the hopper is going to start doing stuff again, and it's going to turn on the redstone signal again. So that is the basic theory behind how this redstone circuit is going to work. Now we got to try and put it together, okay? And let me see if I can actually remember how precisely this is done. You know what I think I'm going to do though, guys? I think I'm going to try and make this redstone build a little bit beautiful by using dark oak wood whenever we are using any redstone circuitry of any kind. I think I'm going to use dark oak wood planks for that. I think that'll be pretty cool. I like the way that redstone dust looks on dark oak wood, so I think that'll be a pretty nice touch. It'll also maybe help us to understand how the circuit is working a little bit better. Now, the next part that we have to do here, guys, is install. Let me just break through this ice so we have a bit of space. We have to install a sticky piston above this comparator over here, and then we have to add a block to the end of the sticky piston. This block is going to be going back and forth, basically, over this chest. So when the block is above the chest, it can't actually open, and when the sticky piston extends, the chest will be able to open. Now, I don't understand why that happens or what the purpose for that is, but what I do understand is the following, right? Let me try and explain it to you. What we need to do is stick a single item into this chest, okay? So we're going to stick a single item in there, just a piece of dirt, and let's get the block above there. Now, this comparator over here is comparing the chest to the hopper, and I think that single bit of dirt inside of the chest represents a certain value of redstone signal. And when the hopper is doing something, it either matches the signal to the chest or differentiates from the signal from the chest, and that, I think, creates or completes the redstone circuit, which makes the whole thing work. I have no idea the actual technical side of that. If one of you guys out there wants to help me out in the comment section about explaining how this circuit works, that would be absolutely awesome. But for now, what I do know what we need to do is we need to get a redstone signal into this sticky piston over here. So we're going to put a block, we're going to put a block over here, and then we're going to stick a redstone torch, which I don't have right now, but let's just make a little bit of redstone dust, some sticks like this, and let's just make a single redstone torch. I think we need another redstone torch for this build, actually, so let's just make 2 of those. We're going to stick a redstone torch over here, and that is going to trigger this sticky piston. Now, the next bit that we need to do is to create essentially a looping circuit, I think is what we're working on, and we're going to do that over here behind the hopper, or behind the sticky piston, excuse me. So let's just get this done, get this bit of dark oak wood plankage out the way. And the way that we do this one is by using 2 redstone comparators next to each other. And I think that the purpose of this is to create a sort of a solid redstone signal, or something like that, right? So when there is redstone signal going through this circuit, it remains solid, and I do believe that sort of keeps the circuit on, or something like that. I don't know. But that's the next part of the build that we have to do, my friends. Now, the last part of the build, if I've got this right, is adding another redstone torch over here, and then adding a line of redstone dust just underneath the torch. Oh, but let's use dark oak wood planks for this, like this. We're going to add a line of redstone dust, which is getting the redstone signal from that torch. And in this position here, we're going to install another sticky piston over here. And let's put a block of iron on top of that sticky piston. Now, the last little bit of redstone work that we have to do is from this sticky piston to this powered rail over here, okay? And what we're going to be doing here is sticking in a redstone repeater, like so, and setting it to 4, like that, right? Okay, that is basically the circuit done, guys. It's not actually a very difficult circuit to do. I mean, if the RENDOG could memorize it, that says a little bit of a little something about how genius this actual build is. It's a very, very clever build, I think. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below to the video that I found where I found this build, if you guys are more interested in seeing exactly how it was made. Now, the only way to figure out if this is working or not is, of course, to test it. And that means that we need to fill our minecart completely full of loot. That's essentially what we need to do. So, you know, the theory is that as items are falling into the aqueducts and going up the item elevator and being delivered into this chest, let's just do a little bit of experimenting. Let's stick some loggage in here. Oh, it looks like it's working. Yeah, that is working beautifully. If that piston is a pumping, it means that we've done something right. And every time an item travels through this hopper, it is going into the minecart, as you can see, and it actually triggered it there. So I think I got the theory a little bit incorrect when I first explained it. No, the theory is, of course, when this hopper no longer does something, the minecart gets delivered. So let's have a look. So it's pumping those items into the chest cart, pumping all of that dirt into the chest cart, and when there's nothing left to do, okay, there we go. Then the chest cart gets delivered. Okay, so I got the theory a little bit wrong. The smart loader isn't going to wait for the chest to be completely full. It's just going to wait until this hopper is no longer delivering the items into the chest cart. You know what? That's actually perfectly fine for our needs too, because we're going to be coming over here to the grove, cutting down all of the trees, and then, you know, waiting for all of those items to be delivered into our processing facility. And once all of the items have passed through the system and gone into the minecart, then the minecart is going to shoot off. But you know what? I think we also need to test when we fill the minecart completely with items, just to make sure that it also fires off. So let me go and sleep, and then what I think we'll do is fill that minecart with items. And we'll see if that's actually going to trigger it too. Well, guys, I'm actually quite proud of myself for doing that in one take with no freaking cuts or no mistakes. That was awesome. This thing is actually working right now, which blows my mind. Now, there's one more test that we have to do just to ensure that this thing is working properly, and that is, of course, get this minecart completely filled with items, and items that are completely different from one another also, right? Because I think that that can also affect the comparator. So I have jammed all of these different items into the minecart, and we're going to stick the last 16 remaining spruce wood planks into this chest. They're going to be delivered into that minecart via our pumping system, and let's see, hopefully, when that minecart is packed with jazz, yes, it's going to trigger and it's going to go. Okay, that's awesome. So that is working beautifully, my friends. I'm so stoked about that. Now, the next part of today's build, let's just push this minecart out of the way, and the final challenge that we have to figure out, my friends, is how this minecart that is going to be full of saplings, logs, leaves, and apples, and anything else that might get into the aqueducts is actually going to drop off all of its loot at the very end of the line there in the Viking district. So why don't we try and build for ourselves a little collection facility, which is a very simple redstone circuit that I think I also know how to do. Okay, so let's see if I can actually do this. All right, so what we're going to do is get another little bit of powered rail over here. So let's get a bit of powered railage going like this. Actually, you know what we could do? We could add our block of redstone over here so that we can power these powered rails like so. And then let's go up to the top like that. And then what we need to do is install another hopper in this position on top of another chest. Now, let's just talk a little bit about what we are doing here. I'm setting this up here so that we can test it from the contraption to the receiving chest. Of course, this thing that we're building now, we're going to build in the Viking district over there, and we're going to build a long ass railway line that'll weave in and out through this forest on stilts. You know, it'll be like a really cool little railway line that'll deliver the chest cart to the Viking district. But of course, what we need to do is get the items out of the chest cart into a chest in the Viking district. So it's easy enough to set up to start off with. We're going to need a hopper and a chest, right? And the minecart is going to come and land on this hopper, and it's going to start dropping its items down into the chest. Now, what we're going to have to do, of course, is stop that minecart in its tracks in this position, but we also need to find a way to send a signal into this powered rail once the minecart has emptied itself, and that, of course, will trigger the chest cart to go back into the collection contraption over there. So what we're going to do is use one more redstone comparator in this position like that, and this redstone comparator is going to be looking at this hopper, right? And I think when the hopper stops working, it's going to send a signal into this block, and we're going to need to add another, I think we need another redstone torch in this position over here, like that. And then we will add a block above it, like so, and a block above the comparator, a block above the comparator like this, and one more redstone repeater in this position over here. Now, I do believe that that is the correct circuitry for this thing. So the minecart's going to come up here, stop on the hopper, send all of its items into the chest. When the chest is full and the hopper isn't doing anything anymore, a redstone signal is going to go into this block. It's going to travel up into this block, hit the repeater, which is going to send the redstone signal into, hang on, let me just get back up there. It's going to send that redstone signal from this block via the repeater into this block, which is going to trigger the powered rail, thus sending the chest cart on its way. And that chest cart is then going to return back to its home over here in the processing contraption of the Grove, I suppose is what it's called. What we are going to have to do, though, it looks like, is make another chest cart. I don't want to break that chest cart because it's full of stuff right now. So let's just make for ourselves another chest cart. Pretty easy to do. We'll just make ourselves a minecart, and we need to make ourselves a chest. So we need 8 bits of plankage. Let's just make for ourselves a chest. Make for ourselves another chest cart like this. And let's actually see if this is going to work, my friends. Let's put our chest cart, let's say, for example, it's traveled back from the lumber mill. Now it's come back into the loading facility. The loading facility has gathered a whole bunch of jungle wood. Actually, you know what? Let's test this. Let's test this properly, right? Let's test this properly. Let's get the minecart out. Okay, it's going to go. Let's try and stop it over here. Dang it, chest cart. All right, we'll break it. Okay, so let's say, for example, the Grove has collected 31 bits of jungle wood loggage, okay? The chest cart has just finished delivering its goods back to the Viking district, and it is on its way back to the receiving plant here at the Grove. So let's put the chest cart over here and let's have a look. It's going to go back into its position, and as you can see, the pumpage has begun, which means our chest cart is slowly but surely filling up with those jungle wood loggages. And the theory is, when the pumping stops, that chest cart is going to shoot over. There we go. Brilliant. It's been delivered into the Viking district, and let's have a look. It is sucking those logs into the chest. Beautiful. It is working. It is working, guys. Look, the receiving chest is filling up with jungle wood. When it's completely filled, the chest cart is going to return back to the receiving facility. Oh man, that is so freaking sweet. It's working, my friends. It's actually working, and I did it in one freaking go, baby. Oh man, that is so sweet. All right. We're going to have to test this sucker, though, one more time, though, right? Let's complete the aqueduct over here. And, of course, now we have to test our item delivery system, the item elevator, the aqueducts, and the processing facility of the Grove. Or I suppose it's the loading facility, right? This is the loading facility, and that's the processing facility. Yeah, that's the correct terminology. So let's get a bit of jungle wood loggage into the system. There it's going up the item elevator into the aqueducts, hopefully. Going into the chest, the pumpage has begun. There we go, beautiful. The chest cart is getting filled with juicy ass loot. The circuit's completed. The chest cart is sent to the Viking district. It is unloading all of its juicy loggage into the Viking district, into the lumber mill, into the receiving facility over there, and it's going all the way back into the receiving facility right here in the wood groves. It works, my friends. It freaking works.